Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope you're having a lovely day. So today I'd like to discuss a story that really ties home a theme of this channel for several years when it comes to cloud-connected products that you don't have control over, and why it is I think that you should decrease your dependence on them in every area of your life. I've gone over this when it comes to security cameras. There is a company called Arlo. They had certain features advertised in the box, and these were features that were no longer going to work unless you paid for a cloud subscription fee. They eventually did reverse the decision, but they did try to stick the tip in, and that is a problem. There is a company called Sun Valley Tech that had security cameras that they just got disabled, and there wasn't really anything that you could do about it. And this is a problem nowadays because we don't innovate anymore. Innovation used to mean that a black and white television is now a color television. Innovation used to mean that you had that little horn that came out of the side of a record player, and now you have the Lansing 604E loudspeaker. Innovation used to mean you had a 286 computer, and now you have a Pentium 2. But as I went over in this video, in 2024, innovation is a dog whistle for screwing you over. A lot of products and a lot of industries are not getting better, they're just getting better at robbing you blind. Back in the day in 2006, you could buy an IP camera like what I have over here. This is an IP camera that supports things like RTSP and ONVIF. These are standards that allow me to use this camera with any piece of network video recording software or hardware that I want. This camera will work with any network video recorder that I want from any brand. It doesn't require one particular brand in order to function, which is what makes this IP camera great. I can use it with whatever I want. Whereas with these newer cameras that you have, they connect to the cloud and you're not allowed to set the information. So with this camera, I can set the username, the password, the attributes of the stream, and then I have my NVR and I can connect it to its stream on my network. Whereas with a lot of modern cameras, they connect up to the cloud to the manufacturer's storage and the manufacturer's stuff, which means A, the manufacturer gets to charge you whatever they want for recording. B, the manufacturer can take away features at any given time. And above all, you now have to deal with security breaches that you didn't otherwise have to deal with because now your shit is going onto the cloud, aka somebody else's computer. And that's exactly what happens with these security cameras from Wyze. So this is on Reddit's r/WyzeCam. I was watched by someone. I'm shocked. I'm a 23-year-old girl and I was getting ready for work during the outage. And please spare me or I only put the cameras outside comments because I have sick animals that I need to see at all angles while I'm at work. I'm so disgusted and upset. I've ready to leave my account, but I'm feeling so violated. And she's referring to this email that came from Wyze. The email reads as follows. Wyze friends. On Friday morning, we had a service outage that led to a security incident affecting your Wyze account. The outage originated from our partner, Amazon Web Services, and took down Wyze devices for several hours early Friday morning. If you tried to view live cameras or events during that time, you likely weren't able to. We're very sorry for the frustration and confusion this caused. As we worked to bring the cameras back online, we experienced a security issue. Some users reported seeing the wrong thumbnails and event videos in their Events tab. We immediately removed access to the Events tab and started an investigation. We can now confirm that as the cameras are coming back online, about 13,000 Wyze users received thumbnails from cameras that were not their own, and 1,504 users tapped on them. We've identified your Wyze account as one of the ones that was affected. This means that thumbnails from your events were visible in another Wyze user's account, and that a thumbnail was tapped. Most taps enlarge a thumbnail, but in some cases it could have caused an event video to be viewed. This incident was caused by a third-party caching client library that was recently integrated into our system. And again, this is just one of those things where you are better off keeping your video on your network than uploading it to somebody else's. There is absolutely no fucking reason for video from your house, from your office, from your room to get uploaded to somebody else's server. That doesn't have to happen. You could buy a camera from a company that actually has respect for you as a human being. Many of these cameras do not allow you to use them with RTSP and ONVIF and everything else. They restrict you to using their protocol. They restrict you to using their app. And worst of all, they restrict you to using their servers. Whereas a camera like this, once I plug it into an Ethernet port and I load up the settings, I can connect this to anything that I want. I can connect it to a cloud server if I want, or I can connect it to a server on my network. I can use a network video recorder or a DVR that's made by the company that made the camera, or I could install an open source piece of software like FreeGate on this piece of shit $89 Nook that I have sitting here that I got on eBay. I can install this on whatever I want. And as a result of that, I never have to connect it to the internet. I can have this server stay offline. Now, I know what you're thinking. Lewis, who wants a camera system that's offline? I want alerts when people enter my house and stuff like that. If you want to connect, that you're more than happy to do so. You can use something called a VPN. None of my camera servers connect to the internet. They're literally not allowed to do so. They don't do that. When I want to check my camera system, I can use WireGuard or OpenVPN on my Android phone to connect to the WireGuard or OpenVPN server on anything from an OPNSS open source FreeBSD-based router or to a piece of shit $40 Netgear from Best Buy. We're in 2024. Almost every router that you can buy has OpenVPN or WireGuard or some shit like that on it. So you can connect to your home network without ever opening a port on your router for any of these services. What this means is that you could literally block your camera computer from ever connecting to the internet, which means nobody is ever going to connect to this thing. They will never even see your home server has a camera system on it so that they could potentially try to, crack the password or something like that and get in. They won't even know you have one. And then you can connect to your home server and do as you please. I do this, and it works excellently. As you can see over here, the AI, image detection could use a little bit of fucking work. I don't think I'm a dog myself. I'm pretty conservative. And over here, you can see it thinks that this cat is a person. It thinks this cat is a dog. It thinks this cat is a bird. It pretty much thinks it's anything but a cat. But it's still better than your bullshit motion detection that often misses real motion and detects the wind moving and falsely records. It's pretty good software. It's free. It's open source. You can run it on your own self-hosted, self-managed server, and you can connect it to whatever camera you want. And you have the freedom to not connect it to the internet while simultaneously using something like a VPN to be able to view it on your phone or from your computer from anywhere in the world securely, and you never have to worry about this shit happening to you. Now, I know what you're thinking, Lewis. Who is going to configure a VPN on their Netgear router? I mean, that takes like 90 seconds in Google searching. Well, do you want these people configuring it? Because I don't think they're doing a better job. Here's the harsh reality that we're going to have to deal with. If you want this level of convenience, that means not only do you open yourself up to getting screwed over anytime a company decides that they just want more money out of you, but more importantly, you have to trust all these people to not make a mistake. I trust my server when I set it up and I literally don't allow it to connect to the internet more than I trust any of the fucking idiots that work at Wyze to secure my personal data. Uploading your data to somebody else's server does not make it more secure. There is absolutely no reason to do that when you can keep it on your own network in your own home. And dare I say it, it is worth the 90 seconds of Google searching to figure out how to set up a VPN and set up a system like this than it is to buy these types of things where you are trading your privacy, your security, your sovereignty, your ability to say that you own your system for 5 seconds of convenience. It is not worth it. And the longer that we choose to do this, the worse it is going to get. This is not simply with camera systems. It is also when it comes to image hosting software. So many people are more than happy to use Google Photos because it is convenient. But when you use Google systems for your photos instead of your own system, something like Image, which I use, and I think you would really, really enjoy if you got to use it. This thing is awesome. It can group all of the people in your library by using a machine learning algorithm to detect their faces and figure out who they are. It loads instantly, which is more than I can say for Nextcloud. You sync all your photos to it. It's absolutely beautiful. Or you could use stuff like Google, where they reported somebody to the police as a criminal because they sent photos of their son to a doctor. And after being flagged by somebody, the person who got flagged by at Google looked at it and said, there's a picture of a mother breastfeeding the kid and then holding the kid. Yeah, that's definitely abuse. We should send this over to the police. A, Google is scanning everything that gets uploaded. B, their AI is stupid enough to think that a medical photo is child abuse. C, the people that work at Google are even more fucking brain dead than their AI and are so offended by a loving mother holding their child, because God forbid somebody that's this fucking miserable is going to have any, they actually report that person to the police. Or you could have your own solution. Again, you get the convenience of Google Photos, but now you have to clear your name to the police and the court system for a year to prove that you're not a pedophile. Like, do you see what I'm getting at here? Uploading your data to other people's networks is just, it's not in your best interest, and it's something that I highly suggest you stop doing. The amount that you save up front, you wind up paying for in the long term. There's this one saying that you can either pay the price up front or you pay every day for the rest of your life. But when you pay every day for the rest of your life with 28% interest, it adds up a lot more. Do you get more convenience when you use these things up front? Absolutely. Do you lose out on privacy, freedom, security, and the ability to say that you actually own your system? Yes, you do. But above all these other things, you're not using your brain as much. When you have to set up your own camera system, when you do the 90 seconds of research to figure out how to set up a VPN in your $40 Best Buy router, you get a little kick of dopamine at the end of it. You figured something out for yourself. When you set up a system that literally has the ability to detect whether or not it is a dog or a cat or a bear or a deer in your yard, that's pretty cool. You get a little kick. Man, I had to fill out a YML file for this shit where I was configuring it with the spaces, and it was only the 6th time that I got the spaces for every stupid little line right. But man, look at how cool this thing is compared to this other system. That's a nice, rewarding feeling that you get. You learn something. So not only do you own your system, but you also really get to feel like, man, I learned something. I bettered myself today. I challenged myself a little bit, and I overcame that small challenge. It's a good feeling to have, and I want you to have that feeling as often as possible, rather than be like these people. Again, to be clear, I don't want to insult this person, nor do I want to victim blame. Nobody is going to understand this until it happens to them, and nobody's going to understand it until it's explained to them. But what I'm hoping is, after it's explained to you, that you will not put yourself in a position like this young lady did here, because she didn't know any better, because now you know better. You're not going to put yourself in a situation where you're uploading photos of the inside of your house to somebody else's server. You're not putting yourself in a position where you are sharing medical photos of your family with Google so that somebody that works at this company that hates people that have children so much that they report them to the police because they're that fucking miserable in their own personal life. This is not something that I want to happen to you. But more importantly, as you start to undertake the actions that are necessary to ensure that this never happens to you, you're putting together your own systems, and you're building something that actually requires you learn a little bit along the way, and you're going to feel excited and rewarded when you do it. These pieces of software over here that I recommend, such as FreeGate and Image, are pieces of software that are becoming more user-friendly every day. They're open source, they have great management, they have great communities, and they're more than happy to help people learn how to become more self-sufficient. And I highly suggest that you try these programs out. And if you find these programs to be useful, I highly suggest that you donate to them. Are you going to buy a Wyze camera after this? I sure as fuck wouldn't, and I hope you don't either. And above all, I hope you let all of your tech non-savvy friends know that this type of stuff happens, so that when they look to purchase security cameras for their home, they never do this type of shit. Don't let your friends set up cloud security cameras. Don't let them get a Ring doorbell. Don't let them buy a Wyze. Don't let them buy an Arlo. Simply because your friends are not as tech savvy as you does not mean that they deserve to be spied on and screwed over. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.